Hello, YouTube. I'm Corion, your Witch in Residence, and I have a spoiler filled, spoilerific review of Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness for you. So, as I said, this is going to be spoiler heavy. I have absolutely no concerns after this point. If you feel I've spoiled the movie for you, because I've put enough warnings here, you've been warned. If you haven't shut off my video yet, then it's your own fault. But if you do shut off my video, give it a like and share it before you do. Cool? All right. So let's start out with where this movie is. So this movie takes place just a little bit, I would imagine, after the Multiverse of Madness, and Doctor Strange's love interest from the first movie is getting married today. He's going to the wedding, and out of nowhere, giant eyeball tentacle monster thing that looks vaguely like a beholder is attacking New York. He finds out that this is after a girl, the American Chavez. And he proceeds through the multiverse because that's apparently her powers now, is she can punch her way through the multiverse to try to protect her from, spoilers, Wanda, who's gone absolutely off the deep end. What I want to talk about, though, is not necessarily the plot, but the key theme that I'm wondering if a lot of people missed. The key theme of this entire movie is what you give up for power. Now, you're probably sitting there going, I didn't really see it that way, blah, blah, blah. No, look, this is about what you gave up for power. Doctor Strange gave up the love of his life ultimately for his own personal power, for control. Wanda gave up a fantastic, wonderful, joy-filled life for the power that is within the Darkhold, that is within all the crazy, evil new powers that she has supposedly come across. And ultimately, that's not what she wanted. She wanted to literally eat her cake and have it too. She wanted to have all the power in the multiverse and to have her boys. And the one thing I think you can take away from this is the one universe where she didn't get to have children. And I think the reason being is because she wanted the power more than she wanted the family here, until she realized it was too late. Now she wants a family too, and she can't have it. Even Wong has to give up trying to defend Kamar-Taj from Scarlet Witch. He has to give up knowledge for the power to ultimately be able to defeat her. We see this time and time again, that when people surrender what they care about, they are given power, but is that power worth it once you've surrendered what you truly want? I think this is the real question the movie is asking. And I think for people who are interested in, let's call it, the oogity boogity or magic or what have you, or mystical knowledge, what are you willing to give up for that knowledge? And I think ultimately that raises an interesting question even for non-magic users, which is, what would you give up for power? Would you be willing to sacrifice a home life for career success? Would you be willing to sacrifice a school-based education where you could potentially learn a lot more in favor of money and resources now? Would you be willing to give up having enough money to go and do whatever you want to raise a family? These are questions that everyday people really do wrestle with all the time. On the mystical sense, sometimes a lot of mystics wind up giving up having a family or having close relations with people for their mystical knowledge, because that's the only time they get to research it, is when they could be dealing with other things. Now, that doesn't mean you won't be happy, because that's another theme that I think this movie touches on is Doctor Strange truly happy with the life, with the decisions he's ultimately made? And I think at the end of the day, he realizes he may not be happy in the traditional sense, but he is quite satisfied and he is fulfilled in his life, which I think ultimately is what anyone should really be asking themselves is the life I'm living right now fulfilling for me? And if the answer is yes, that it is fulfilling, then how do I maintain it? And if the answer is no, then I really do encourage you, whatever direction your life is in, whatever deity you believe in is, go find what is going to make your life fulfilling, seek it out, and embrace it. I mean, if that's devotion to something, then sure. If that's, simply enjoying the life you have right now, that's good too. Contentment doesn't necessarily mean you're, happy all the time. It means that you can accept the life that you have as something you want to continue to have. And if you're not happy in your life, then what are you going to do to change it? Plan it out. Think about where your life is and what your life is doing and what you can change, what you would be willing to surrender, if you will, to the universe for that happiness. Would you be willing to surrender, say, your discomfort, say, your pain? Say, would you be willing to surrender that unhealthy relationship you're part of for a chance at happiness? If you are, then I 100% encourage you to go seek that out. I mean, don't give up your job just because it doesn't make you happy. Plan for it. Look for another job. Look for something that will make you happy and then go embrace that. Okay? And leave on good terms because, let's be honest, I want to give you guys positive, real advice, not just, the crazy pie in the sky, jump off a cliff kind of advice, but real advice. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I personally think that Strange's journey through deciding what is going to make him happy and him coming to the realization that he doesn't happiness can mean different things to different people. And happiness for him meant being honest with himself and getting back to his life with his good friend Wong and the other mystics and being part of that world because that's truly what made him happy. And that's truly what fulfilled him. I think speaks volumes for what we should all be seeking, right? We don't necessarily need the power to make Bruce Campbell punch himself in the face 400 times. What maybe we need is the power in our own life to, say, be able to afford the kind of dinners you want to make. Maybe you want the kind of power in your life where you can have a pet. Set small goals, but achievable ones, and then go out and get them. Okay? Not all of us have the powers of Doctor Strange. We can't manipulate reality with our mind and a whim. And even if we had that power, just like for Scarlet Witch, that may not be what you really need in order to make you happy. She had all the power in the universe and she couldn't make herself happy. What does that tell us? It tells us that the writer had keyed into something very important and very key here, which is power doesn't necessarily make you happy. The decisions you choose to make for yourself are ultimately what's going to make you happy. We've talked previously about choice and consequence. Well, if you make the kind of decisions that are going to push you towards happiness, that's where you're going to find it. Whatever that happiness looks like for you. Okay? It may not always be easy. Okay? I went and got my degree and it was very, very hard for me to do because I hated sitting in a tech classroom that, well, as luck would have it, I actually had already known most of the stuff in it and I was really just there to sign off on it. I didn't want to do it, but I knew if I did it, and I did it quickly, and I did it well, one, I wouldn't have to do it again, and two, I could get out there doing what I really enjoy doing, which is helping people. And ultimately, that's what fulfills me. It's not for everyone. Okay? The love of my life is most fulfilled when she is nurturing small things smaller than her, like plants, animals, that kind of stuff. Listen, my daughter is most fulfilled these days when she gets new Pokemon cards. So, whatever's going to fulfill you, though, that's what you need to seek out. Okay? Um, and don't just wait for the universe to hand it to you, because chances are it won't. Okay? The They say the gods help those that help themselves. So help yourself. Take 10 minutes out of your day and ask yourself, what could I be doing to further my own personal fulfillment? And then just do it. You just begin. Okay? You figure out the first problem that'll get you closer towards your goal, and you solve that, and then you do the next one, and you do the next one, and eventually you'll sit there going, wow, I'm here. I have what I've wanted. I have the life I want. I'm reading this in from a Marvel movie, which I think speaks a lot to what Marvel did here. And that's why I'm going to encourage all of you to do this. Take those 10 minutes, learn the lesson Doctor Strange had to fight a whole bunch of crazy tentacle alien monsters and deal with undead and throw fireballs at a whole bunch of people, to understand that you just need to work towards the goals of personal fulfillment slowly, and then just begin. At the end of the movie, the watch that had been given to him by the love of his life, that had the cracked glass, he goes and replaces the glass with a new one, which is our cue as the audience to signify that he's taking those steps. He's taking the steps to move on with his life and find his little piece of happiness that he wants. When someone approaches him in one of the stingers and they go, hey, I've got this crazy adventure I want to take you on, he's all like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. Because he knows that's what's going to fulfill him as a human being. Get fulfilled in your life. I think the world would be a much better place if we were all in a place of general fulfillment and happiness. And fulfillment and happiness doesn't necessarily mean like millions of dollars and babes on every arm or whatever. What it can mean, for me personally, what it meant was having a home with my wife and having a child that we could raise together, and having the crazy adventures that I get to go on with my partners, and all the stuff that I get to do because I laid the groundwork for the fulfillment of life that I want. There is one of the most common prayers before eating in craft. The last major stanza of it goes a little something like this. And, fill us with health, wealth, strength, joy, and peace, and the fulfillment of love, which is perfect happiness. That has always spoken very deeply to me. That fulfillment of love. Okay? That's what I needed, was that feeling loved and feeling fulfilled by that love. And that can mean self-love. That can mean the love of somebody else. That could mean loving someone else. It's not specific, and it doesn't have to be. Because we all know that that is what we want. We want to feel fulfilled. So go for it. Reach out and begin that step. It's not easy. Hell, sometimes it's hard. But hard things are worth doing. And even if we fail the first time through, all that is doing is teaching us to get back up, dust ourselves off, and try again. Because I know that every one of my subscribers can do it. That everyone who views this video can do it. Every one of you has the strength to be able to stand up and just try to build a more fulfilling life for themselves. So please, consider doing that. And if you do manage to make progress, or even if this just touched you in some way, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and maybe comment down below on what you're going to plan to do. I think that'd be a fun conversation to have with everybody. Tell us what you're going to do to try to make your life more fulfilling for you. I would love to hear that. I would love to engage with you guys more. I'm really determined to take this channel to the next level. I have some fun, exciting stuff coming. I'm actually going to be getting some production value. I am thinking about running a series of videos in this about. I'm tentatively titling this series "That's Not How Real Wizards Fight," where I'm going to break down movie fights and how it actually would have gone in real life, which I think you guys would find fun, at the very least interesting to listen to. So please consider coming back. I thank you very much. The sermon is over. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. See you all soon.